Hey, what's up? So in this part of the documentation, they show you how Snowpack works. Basically, if I want to summarize it for you, Snowpack deals or it treats every file you have as a web module on its own, and it will load to the browser that file on its own. So if you have 20 files, it will load all 20 files separately. It won't bundle them, all of them together like Webpack into a single file. So each file is a module on its own. Each file will be treated on its own. It will be built and served on its own. This makes it actually very fast, and it will help caching the folders, the files, sorry. So each file will be built and cached forever until it's changed. This is actually very different from Webpack. In Webpack, if I changed a single line in my project, everything will be rebuilt and bundled again, which is very slow at sometimes. So this is much more faster because you are dealing on the file level. If this file changed, I will rebuild it again and serve it as a new module and on its own. I won't touch any other files. And this is actually what Snowpack do. And Snowpack actually caches forever any file it have been built. If there is a change, it will build it again and cache it. This makes development very fast, and they call this unbundled development. So they won't bundle anything, they will just build the file and serve it and cache it forever. And this is actually very similar to the thing we did. If you remember, inside this folder, these two were treated as a web modules on their own. They did not have been bundled together into a single file. The browser actually loaded the functions file and the index file and loaded actually the Lodash file. So loaded the three web modules. This is what the browser did when we were working with web modules. And this will stay the same with Snowpack since it's working on web modules. Every file you have will be served as a web module on its own. This actually have a lot of benefits. They are mentioning them here. So single file builds are faster, deterministic. You can know when a file will be rebuilt and cached again, not like Webpack. Webpack, if I change a single file, everything will be rebuilt again. Easier to debug. You know where the change happened. Does not affect the development speed. Individual files cache is much better. And here they are telling you the key point. Every file is built individually and cached indefinitely. Your dev environment will never build a file more than once, of course, until it's changed. And your browser will never download a file twice until it's changed. Okay, nice. This is the real power of unbundled development, and of course this is actually possible with the development server that Snowpack provide, and I'll show it to you in the end of the video after we discuss the Npm dependencies. So remember in the previous video I tried actually inside my index here to import jQuery, right? But I made a mistake. I should have added .js, and let me show you what will happen when I do this. I actually just explain it to you with the functions. You can't just type the file name without the extension. You need to type the whole thing. So let me just show you what will happen now if I serve this. It will still want to work, but I just want to show it to you. So go to the console, you will see an error. So this module does not provide an export name default. This is because jQuery is not built with the ES modules or with web modules. They are built with CommonJS. So this is actually what Snowpack will do. In this case, Snowpack will convert jQuery into a web module, then load it separately. And this actually behaves the same on every package you import from Node modules. Everything will be converted into its own web module and loaded separately. No bundling happens. So let me remove this, stop the server, and let's just continue talking about Node modules. So using Npm dependencies, so here they are telling you the same exact thing that I showed you. Some packages are built on CommonJS, so these can't be loaded as web modules. What Snowpack will do, it will scan your application for all used Npm packages. Snowpack reads these installed dependencies from your Node modules directory. Snowpack bundles all of these dependencies separately into a single JavaScript file. For example, React and React DOM are converted to React.js and React DOM.js respectively. So we will have two web modules because we are using two packages. Okay, each resulting file can be run directly in the browsers and imported via web modules import statements. because your dependency really changed. Snowpack really needs to rebuild them, so they will be cached forever, and this makes things very fast. And with the Snowpack, you can do this, which is very interesting. And I will show it to you now. I will do the same exact example with jQuery, React, and stuff like that. So, first thing, to start using Snowpack, you need to install it either globally or use npx, or this is my recommended way, just use it locally. And I will move this. This is a spoiler. So use npm scripts, and this is much more easier, especially for other people that will work with you. They only need to clone your repo, type npm install, and that's it. They can use Snowpack, and I'll show you how you can do that. First thing, you need to install it. So if you go to quick start, you will see they will give you this command. I think my internet is slow, but basically npm install snowpack and type -d for save it as a development dependency, not a dependency. The way I separate them, if the dependencies have been installed to make the developer life easier, this is a development dependency. This is tooling, like for compiling JavaScript, for bundling, stuff like that. This will be tooling. This will be div dependency. And if it's something that will help me build functionality in the website, this will be dependencies like jQuery or React. So yeah, I will install Snowpack as a div dependencies. Now, to use a Snowpack on any machine without installing it globally, I will use npm scripts. So go to the scripts tag and just expand it and put anything you want here. So this will be an alias. I will have start, and this will actually use with Snowpack, and this is Snowpack will reference the Snowpack exists in our node modules. It's here, right? This will reference this one here inside your node modules, which is very interesting. So to prove to you that this will work, so npm run, and now you need to give it a script name. We only have one, so give it start. As you can see, it runs Snowpack, and this is Snowpack telling us, hey, this is the name of the commands that you should run. It did not receive anything, so it throws an error. Okay, this is fine. So the first command in Snowpack is the div command. This will start a development server in the root directory here. So let's create an index.html file and hit, this is called emit like this if you want to Google about it, but basically it gives you shortcuts. So if I type exclamation mark then enter, I will get this, and if I type section hashtag my section and hit tab, I will get this section with this ID. So it will give you stuff like that. And let's just type npm run start, and this will run our development server on port 8080. I'll show you how we can change the port and stuff like that, but for now this will work, and this is very nice. So let's try to create an index file inside our source. So I will ignore this ESM, we are done with it, and here I will have JS and another Sass file for the future. Here I'll create an index.js, and let's import it. Inside of it, let's import from jQuery this, and this console log, I'll use jQuery will be equal to the $sign, and let's go inside our index.js. I'll close this at the end. So port script source, go to the source, then JavaScript, then index.js, and now the type, we need to have a type, will be a module. And why we actually serve this using the Snowpack div server, because this will actually monitor our files, monitor everything here, and it will see that, hey, this guy is using jQuery, and jQuery, as I showed you, is written in CommonJS, so you can't use it. It will convert that into web module and allows us to import it. And let's see how the code will be. First thing, everything works. As you can see, we have jQuery. It's available globally. I think jQuery does that. But yeah, we have jQuery. But if you go to the network tab and click on JavaScript, let's hit refresh. As you can see, this is our index of JavaScript, and the first thing you will see, it won't be the same one here. It will be a little bit different. So go to preview. As you can see, it's importing not the jQuery file from the node modules, it's importing the jQuery file from this path _snowpack package. I'll show you what that contains maybe at the end of this video, but we will expand on that subject again. But yeah, I'll just show you where this will be. And if you go, as you can see, it's importing this module as its own on a separate request, as you can see from this link. So each node module you use will be converted into its own web module and imported. Yeah, each package you use from the node modules will be converted into web modules and loaded like this, which is very interesting. So let's try to install npm install Lodash, and let's import a couple of functions from Lodash. Map, reduce, pick, omit. I use these functions a lot, that's why I know them. And first time it's building a module, it's a little bit slow, but as you can see, now they are loaded. And if you go to network, we should see Lodash have been actually imported using a web modules syntax, and it just works. And this is our index. As you can see, it's pointing to this. So now if you want to see this, I wish they could actually like implement something. If I go to _snowpack, I could see like all the modules that have been built. I think this will be very nice if they implemented that. But just to show it to you, there is a quick command called build. So snowpack build. This will actually convert everything, all your code, into web modules, and yeah, it will just generate that. So npm run build. We will actually learn more about the build, but just here, just to show you what build actually does and how or where these comes from. These generated web modules from the node modules folder. So build, by default, it will create a build file, and this is actually the code that you can serve into production. So as you can see, everything is the same, nothing changed. But the only new thing is this _snowpack, and inside of it we have this package folder. And inside of that you have Lodash as a web module and a jQuery as a web module, which is very interesting. So yeah, I think this is a map file, but yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I think this shows you the basics in Snowpack, how it works, and the div server, and how we can import stuff from the node modules. I think in the next videos I will show you how we can run it or use React with Sass maybe. And in the next videos after that, we will just cover these subjects, the plugins, the configuration file. We can actually customize everything. And yeah, bye.